It's going to be hard.
It is going to be hard.
Something happened last week that's so central to what I'm trying to show and change about all of us that I think it's worth talking about. It's important. I've had I've had a girlfriend for the last 2.5 years, a young lady named Kiara, who I met. She brought in her mom for an interview. Her mom is a homeless drug addict, lives on the streets to this day. And we met and just kind of clicked and got along, and it was really, she wasn't the kind of girl I thought I would ever be involved with romantically, but it turned into that very quickly. And it was really the most wonderful relationship. It was magical. We both used to say all the time, like, I can't believe this is happening. It's like both of us seem to love each other more
every day.
The relationship got stronger and better as it went on, and it was beautiful. It was just amazing. She used to say, I used to say, I was much older than I am much older than she is, and I used to say, like, if you ever want to get rid of me because I'm too old, just let me know. And she goes, like, I would never do that. You're like, you're irreplaceable. There's nobody like you. And I felt the same way about her. It's like she was one of a kind. So fun and kind, and our sense of humors were perfectly matched. It was like we just constantly made each other laugh. My job is hard. I do this all day, and some days are really difficult. Like, I would just come home fried and just in a nasty sour mood, and I would walk in the door and sit down, and just within 3 minutes, everything was erased and just gone. It would evaporate just because of the way she treated me, the way we interacted. It was just magical, and it was the best. Only 2.5 years, but probably one of the best things that ever happened to me.
It didn't matter, this age difference. You guys were just best friends.
She was very mature for her age. She was in her 20s. She was very mature for her age. I had a hard time believing she was in her 20s, more like 30s. She looked 30-something. And I am very young at heart for my age. So, yes, on paper, it's a big age gap, but in reality, we were perfectly matched. Perfectly matched. It sounded weird on paper, but if you saw us together, there was nothing weird about it. She had a 3-year-old son. She has a 3-year-old son. We would see each other every day, every night, have breakfast every other day, and then get together for the evening after work. And then we would be texting each other. She'd text me all these really sweet little love kind of messages throughout the day, and that was really sweet. I enjoyed all that silly little stuff. It was really something I never thought I'd like in a relationship. Very different kind of woman than I've ever been with before, because I was always into these almost elusive, challenging, difficult people, and she was none of that. Just loving, kind, open, honest, sweet, just the greatest in every way. And last Wednesday, I texted her like I always do at night. I came by to see her just briefly because she had some friends over, but I came by to say hi. She was her usual self. Everything was perfect. I left, and I texted her when I went to bed. She texted me back right away. And then in the morning, I get up early. I text her and don't expect a reply right away, but like 8 o'clock goes by, 9 o'clock goes by, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So I drive over. She lived nearby my studio. And I have a key to her place. I go open the door. Her 3-year-old son is there with a stinky diaper. And I go, where's mommy? And he points to the bedroom. And I go into the bedroom. The bed is empty. And I go into the bathroom. and she's underwater laying in the bathtub, curled up. And I'm just like, what? I just didn't know what to make of that. But I grabbed her and I tried to pull her out, and she was hard and cold. Lips were blue. And she'd obviously been in there for 10, 11, 12 hours, something like that. Long enough to not be savable. And there was a joint on the side of the bathtub. She likes to smoke her weed. And I tried CPR, I called 911 immediately. They came right away. But nothing's going to happen. Nothing was going to happen. And it was just like getting hit by a train. Like, this girl I loved just fucking died. And there was no explanation of how or why. I can't make sense of it. And information is coming out. The detectives called me a couple of days later and said they found cocaine. They talked to her friends. She was with that night. She was doing cocaine. And she had been doing cocaine regularly for the last few months.
But you didn't know about that?
And I didn't know about it. Like, I didn't know. She kept me out of the loop on that. And she hid it very well, and I didn't know. And this is a late night thing, because I go to bed so early. She's staying up later. She'd probably do coke every night. And another thing that's important, so it looks like a fentanyl overdose then, once you see that. But in her family, there are 3, I think they're all female, 3 women that died of myocarditis. Myocarditis is where the lining of your heart, and I think it enlarges and your heart stops. So 3 of her relatives, close relatives, passed away from myocarditis. One more young relative had a pacemaker put in. So myocarditis and cocaine mixed together, I was reading about it on the internet, is really just like it's a recipe to how to stop your heart. And my guess is that's probably what happened in this case. That's almost like a side detail, because she has a 3-year-old child. She has a great life, great future ahead of her, a great boyfriend that's supporting her in every way. There's no reason to pick up a drug like cocaine. There's no reason to pick up any drug like that when your life is going smoothly. And I've been, of course, thinking about this nonstop since it happened. Not sleeping. It's hard. And
soul crushing.
Yeah, soul crushing is the fucking word.
It's the last thing we thought that was gonna come.
Everybody, like the last thing, and like her parents were her adopted parents. So she was her biological mom is a homeless crystal meth addict. She never met her father. Doesn't even know who her dad is. Biological dad. She was adopted by this couple, married couple, and they saved her life. They loved her. They raised her. They did a great job. She's a wonderful person because of them. But the scar of having your parents, your biological parents, both decide to not even bother with you. We don't want to, like, Dad doesn't even want to see you. He doesn't want to know you. I'm not interested. Mom is going to be like, I got better things to do. That's a scar that
doesn't go away.
It's such a deep wound that I think you have to look at that and be like, and then so I find some things out in talking with her friends. Like, the cocaine started about 3-4 months ago. And she would always say, I will never do these kind of drugs because of my mom. She would always say that. That's why I didn't even suspect that there could be anything like that going on. She would always say that. So I'm like, well, it couldn't be that. That would never be an option. But apparently it became an option.